Good morning. My name's Liam. So I just got this book called Slow Productivity: The Lost Art of Accomplishment Without Burnout. And on one hand, I was like, this book's kind of for pussies. Burnout's not real. On the other hand, I was genuinely curious if there's some good stuff in here that I could actually use. Because I've also read, and I really liked this book, which is pretty much the opposite. I think he has a chapter that's basically says burnout is for pussies or some shit like that. So, you know, what do I believe? I think there's a little bit of both. I mean, I'm trying to look for the chapter in this book that actually has it. I think it's the myth of time management. I do want to reference something in this chapter just because I think everyone should read this book though. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Uh, Anyways, you get the idea. Some people are like, go all in. Burnout's not real, you fucking pussy. I think what they really mean is you gotta be obsessed with whatever you're doing, which I think is real. You gotta be obsessed with it if you're gonna be great at it. But on the other hand, sometimes like work actually begins when it's not fun. That's when work actually starts. So, I think I'm only a little bit of a ways into this book, but the beginning starts out, he talks about this guy named something McPhee, and he was working on a massive project, and what his breakthrough was, he was laying down on a picnic table looking up into the sky or into the trees, and he did this for 2 weeks straight. Obviously he, you know, ate food, slept. He wasn't just constantly on the picnic table, but he was just sitting there looking up, and that's how he was creative. So he calls them knowledge workers. Sometimes work isn't checking things off the list. Sometimes work is just sitting down in a quiet place and thinking hard about creating something big, which is cool. And honestly, Hormozy kind of says that too. He's like, there's maker time, which are large blocks of uninterrupted time where you just sit and think about what you're going to do. Not think, but, you know, it's not like managerial tasks where there are 15-minute blocks where you're just checking shit off. And sorry, I just woke up, but it's not like manager work in that way. So I'm trying to understand both sides where, you know, I could work a 16-hour day and then also somehow, you know what I mean? I kind of think this is some pussy shit, but you know, I'm trying to understand both sides. I think that's a good thing. I think I more naturally fall in line with the 10X rule, which is don't be a bitch, just do more stuff. I know you could count on this. If the goal is the main thing you're going after, I know that would work. This could just make it a little easier. That's the bottom line. But I've also been reading this book that it has a cheesy ass title, so I didn't think it would be good. But it's called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and again, cheesiest title. I wish it was a little different. I hate the word millionaire now for some reason because so many of these fucking books have the word millionaire. I've got The Millionaire Next Door, The Millionaire Fast Lane, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, The Millionaire Mind. So I mean, I guess those titles sell, but I'm kind of getting sick of those fucking cheesy titles. But it is actually a really, really good book, and it's kind of just about the way you need to think, how your brain was probably programmed. It's called your financial blueprint from a young age, just based on how your parents dealt with money and talked about money. You kind of exhibit their habits, whether you realize it or not. And you kind of need to break that and understand how a rich person deals and thinks about money, which is cool. It also talks about just how rich people aren't victims. They think of both instead of either or. So they think, poor people will think, well, you can't be rich unless you're a bad person. That's not true. I think a lot of rich people are dope as fuck. They just, and his whole book is about becoming financially free, which he defines it as you can live without working off of passive income or savings based on the lifestyle that you desire. So obviously, I think you could work a little bit and then live a shitty lifestyle and then be like, I'm financially free. But you should live one that you actually desire, But that also means it doesn't have to be, you don't need to be wildly rich or financially free. You don't have to be financially free by having a massive income. He also defines the 4 factors of wealth, I guess. It's 1, simplification, number 2, savings, number 3, investments, and number 4, income. Maybe not in that order, but it is that. Simplification is just what lifestyle you need to be happy and how much that costs. So if you can simplify your lifestyle and live off a little less, it's kind of like saving money, but it is a cool way to look at it. And then what I thought was interesting was when he was talking about savings and putting money in different accounts, he had an account that was 10% of your monthly income to just spend. He said that when you have that, it builds up your receiving muscle, he calls it, because he talks about the universe and receiving and energy and stuff like that. It's not too far that it's like, okay, this is bullshit. It is stuff that you'll see in your daily life that is true. But he talks about how you need to have 10% to just go spend on extravagant whatever that you just want. You need to have 10% that you save and invest. You never touch it. You need to have 50% for needs. And then 10% for education. That's probably 90% we're at right now. And then, yeah. Nonetheless, guys, if you haven't read any of these books right now, I'm going to recommend that you read I'm going to recommend you start with this book. It's super easy to read. It's pretty short. I like the way Grant Cardone writes. And I think there's some really great shit in here. I always reference it. I've got some some things in here. I think my favorite chapter that I made a video on was fear is the great indicator. I always come back and look at that. Fear is false events appearing real. Most of the time, the stuff we're thinking about is not even actually gonna happen, which is ridiculous, dude. It's so ridiculous to what our mind thinks is real and what our mind acts like it's scared of. It's so stupid when you think about it. And the other part of it is normally the thing that you're afraid to do has the greatest return on your time. For me, when I'm doing knife slanging, usually the people I'm afraid to call, afraid to talk to, or if I'm afraid to ask for the order, whatever, that's exactly what I need to do every time. And what's the worst that's gonna happen, dude? Someone says no. Same with talking to a girl. That girl could be your wife, bro. Your wife could be walking around the fucking street, and if you're afraid to go up to her, you could miss out on your soulmate. Are you fucking kidding me? Hell no. Hell fucking no. You gotta go learn how to talk to girls. Which I did it once. No, I've done it a few times when I actually saw a baddie. I need to take more shots, I guess, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say. But fucking go outside and go talk to some. Alright? So I hope this was a cool video. I'm trying to figure out, I'll read this book, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it. It's also the book is quite specific, so and it's not as straightforward as a lot of the books I read, which is, I think, probably good for me. I don't know, but I'll let you guys know. You guys have an amazing day. Let me know what you think about the burnout versus 10x just going hard style. All right, take care.